it doesn't serve the purpose, you know what I mean? Hello everybody, welcome back to this YouTube channel. My name is Julia, and in today's clip we're actually reviewing a very quite hated cream contour palette, and that is the NYX Professional Makeup Conceal, Correct and Contour cream palette. I've seen so many negative reviews about this, but I still went ahead and purchased it for myself because I was like, no, I'm gonna try it myself. I'm not gonna be, you know, I will not allow the internet's opinion to, I mean, that's my whole purpose of me trying to explain to you makeup. But I just was very attracted to the concept, and I was like, you know what? I know everybody hates it, but I want to try it out myself. So I was very keen on the fact that it has a contour shade, it has concealer shades, and it also has a salmony shade for color correction and a yellow brightening kind of concealer that again it's for color correction. So yeah, if you want to see a full-on in-depth review about this guy, I used every single shade except these two, I think. Yeah, the neutral and warm concealer, but I did swatch them still so you can see how they look like, and I went ahead and explained everything I could about them. So without further ado, enjoy me from the fast applying these guys. So yeah, so I'm in the middle of actually, you know, trying this out, and yeah, I basically am gonna try to contour, correct and conceal with everything in this palette. From what it looks, the first kind of like 3 shades that it says they are for concealing your eyes, under eye area, they seem quite dark, although this is in light. So I will see how I'm feeling about it, but this is the most kind of, it looks promising combined with this shade. I'm not quite sure if each or one of them has, you know, a name to it, but it doesn't say so, I'm just gonna show you what I'm using, right? I think I'm gonna take a more denser brush, but like fluffy at the same time, so I can, like, I'm able to properly blend it out. So obviously I'm gonna start off with the under eye area, and I'm gonna take the salmony shade, and I'm just very curious to see how it gets lighter, which is quite odd. You see, it gets lighter. That's a bit odd, I'm not gonna lie. I've seen people saying this online, but I was like, maybe they changed the formula. We'll see. So I'm just gonna apply underneath and see how it goes. It's a very thick formula, I must say that. I think I'm gonna take another brush just to kind of blend out, because it's such a thick formula that I need another one to blend out the edges to say per se. But I must say it kind of did conceal stuff, but it's still noticeable the fact that I have a movie undertone over there. So I don't know, I'm gonna try to take the yellow, I guess. Shall I try? I guess I'm gonna try it with another brush just to not ruin the pan, because I'm a bit OCD. So I'm gonna take the yellow, which is again for brightening. It's the same thing going on. It gets lighter by the time you sort of dig into it. So yeah, that's a bit misleading if you ask me. I'm gonna try with my finger as well. Quite waxy, but not, it's thick. So many people were complaining that it's sticky. I wouldn't call it sticky, I would just call it thick, and it has a grip to it. Well, I mean, I wasn't expecting any less than that just because it's a cream, but I think this one did a much better job than the pink one, maybe because I do have more purpliness rather than blue, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, yellow does conceal and, you know, kind of like cancels out the purple tones. So it could be that, because I feel it looks much better now. I don't know, I will just get a closer look so you can see the difference, but I think it's quite there. And because I have a yellow undertone, seriously, I feel like if this would be enough, not even being bothered about using another concealer on top. But I'm gonna try it, obviously, because this is a testing video. Right, so I'm taking another brush and I'm gonna dig into this shade on top over here. And I guess this doesn't look as scary because it's the same drill as the other shades. By the time you kind of like dig into them, they lighten up. So I guess probably the top layer sort of gets a bit more, I don't know, oxidizes, because otherwise I don't explain why that does happen. So I'm just gonna apply this guy on top. I will also test out that, you know, if you can layer up these things, which is something that I'm curious as well. It definitely did hide a bit the yellow undertone underneath, and I think so far it looks good. So many people actually complained a lot about this palette. For some reason, I dared still go because it's just, I don't know, I was impulsive about it because I really liked the concept, and because I travel so much, I really like the idea of having everything like this into one, especially with the contour part, which we're gonna test today. But just so you can take a closer look of the difference in between the two of them, and then obviously I'm gonna do this one to match this guy, but it's a difference there, and I think it concealed really well, and I think the yellow part did a really great job. The only reason why I don't necessarily like so far the salmon shade is because I don't feel like my under eye area needs it. I'm pretty sure you need to have like blue undertones for the salmon to kind of like work out, but the yellow, like I said, it works really well with purple undertones. So yeah, I mean, it did a much better job at concealing it. So I'm just gonna set it, and I mean during this eye, set it, because I'm gonna definitely set it, and we're gonna do the contour. I really do think you have to set it quite fairly quickly, just because this one, it looks a bit more uneven than this one, but it's not something to worry about personally. Like I think it still looks really good. I don't know if you can properly see, but yeah, I do have creases underneath my eyes, so you know, I need to be a bit quicker about it than maybe some other people. And yeah, I so far like it. Let's see how it wears, and let's use the actual contour shade. So many people complained about the contour shade being too warm, so we'll see about that, because I actually, same, like I like them a bit cool toned, and it looks really cool toned in the pan here, but I'm confused. We'll see. And just because I'm OCD, I don't want to properly ruin the pan. Okay, it gets lighter now. It gets lighter by the time you kind of like work into the pan. So yeah, it's the same drill like the others, but it looks really cool tone to me. We'll see. Let's see. So I'm just gonna apply it here. That looks like a good shade to me. To be completely honest, it looks like the Fenty one. That's not warm toned. I'm confused why people were saying it's warm toned. Okay, let's not, you know, I'm gonna blend it out, but I'm just gonna apply here as well, and I'm not gonna blend it out with this one. Like I said, I only use this one just for the aesthetically pleasing kind of like, I don't want to go around the edges because I hate makeup that looks dirty, although everybody get to that stage if we love something. But since it's a first impression review, I want to keep it nice, so let's see. I mean, okay, I see what the thoughts are coming from. It gets a bit warmer, but it's not orangey. So many people complain that it's orangey. I wouldn't call this orangey, I would just call it warm. I should have used another brush. This is actually the brush I kind of use for cream contour, because I don't like how it distributed, but that's my fault. Not the product. The placement of it obviously is my fault, but I mean, it's not bad. It's alright. I would just go a bit like upper and not as wide. So far it looks good to me. And you know, with the foundation, And it really blended out very nicely with my foundation, which was not applied very recently. I mean, but it was applied recently, but not, you know, it obviously until I placed the things underneath my eye, it went like a couple of minutes, you know what I mean? Like the foundation did set and it did not move the foundation underneath, which it's, I mean, it's a bit sticky, but seriously, our cream stuff is always sticky. So many people complain about the fact that it's sticky. It's sticky like a normal cream blush, cream highlighter, cream contour would be. But I think this palette's been a while in the market, so I'm not quite sure since when the reviews I watched have been. So it could be that maybe people, like if it was a while ago, the whole cream and like makeup was not as popular as it is now. At least this is how I feel, or I grow into, I don't know. So I'm just gonna do this side as well. Sick! It looks much better on this side because I actually blend out with this kind of a brush. I personally think sometimes people do really mistake with cream stuff for the fact that they take something so dense, like a foundation brush, like a kind of this guy. It would, at least in my experience, I'm not a makeup artist in terms of like having a diploma and stuff like that, but along the many years I've been obsessed with makeup, and you know, I've learned everything from the internet online. I've noticed, even on myself, that in general, brushes that are too dense, used on top of foundations with like trying to blend out the contour cream, the contour blush, the contour highlighter, if you use something very dense, the chances to move the foundation are very likely. When you use something like this, which is quite fluffy, but obviously you need to work out a bit, it's not gonna move the stuff underneath. Obviously, if it's a good product at the same time, which this represents that it's a good product. It did not move the foundation underneath at all. Like, I hope the camera picks it up really well. But obviously it's because I used a brush like this, which some people didn't, and they complained about the fact that they had their stuff moved underneath. But generally speaking, whenever I see someone complaining about their foundation being moved, chances are using something as dense as this guy and not as fluffy as this kind of like powder brush. So yeah, I think that's the #1 mistake, at least from my experience. You know, so far this is what I learned on my own. But yeah, I think it's really good. Like, the contour is really good. Obviously I did not use the other 2 shades, but I'm gonna swatch. Yeah, this is more neutral, while the other one is definitely with a yellow undertone. But it's the same drill with the other shades. I feel, to be completely honest, this would work out like kind of, what is the name? Like corrector underneath my eyes. Then like this guy, because it's still on the yellow side and it's way too yellow for my skin tone. Like, do you see? It's dark. It's not necessarily that it's too yellow, it's way too dark. Well, while the neutral one could work, it has potential to work out on my skin tone really, so it's good. I mean, I think I can still make a lot of use out of them. I mean, let's check on the underneath eye part so I can see, because I'm seeing a bit of creasing. Yeah, I'm seeing a bit of creasing on this eye. It's not too bad, to be completely honest. Like, I sometimes randomly get a crease on one eye, because this one, it did not crease actually. Yeah, but I would not recommend trying to rectify that, because right now I'm seeing a bit of texture underneath, which is a bit, yeah, interesting. I mean, the intention I wanted to do with this palette, to be completely honest, underneath my eye, is to use the color correctors and use an actual concealer that I love on top of it, but it's still like not ideal to go your up. It's not ideal still to get out of your way and actually buy another concealer so you can use only a few shades from here for contouring. Like the contour bit is really nice. I'm gonna try to take it off on one of the eyes and apply the concealer and then my favorite concealer on top, if that makes sense. Which I'm not quite sure how it's gonna work out, but there's only one way to find out, and that is to actually test out. But yeah, I'm gonna take the yellow because I feel I concealed the best and apply it again. Let's see. My favorite concealer at this very time is the Catrice Liquid Camouflage Concealer, so I'm gonna use that because I know this is never, but never gonna disappoint me. This is actually really good for creasing, like that's why I really love that one. I feel the other ones, like Makeup Revolution Concealer and Defy, I used to love until I realized it kind of creases on me way too quickly. I'm not saying this is like, you know, it's makeup and I have lines which sometimes, you know, in time, in a couple of hours, they still, like the reality is you're not gonna stay flawless forever. I'm also gonna set, just because I always do this. The best test wear is to come back after I finish my eyes and the rest of my makeup, really, because I still have a few things to test out and review. So yeah, I'm gonna come back with a full face on and I'm gonna discuss the under eye area. I actually realized I did not contour my nose, which is something that we should do. And I'm gonna take obviously this guy, because why not? It did a really great job of, you know, doing my face really snatched. So I'm gonna see if it's gonna fail or do a great job when it comes to my nose. I mean, it's quite alright. I think it's a bit too warm for my liking, just because I do like a very cool toned powder to contour my nose. I feel it looks the most like natural, rather than, this is more like a bronzing sort of contour into one, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. But when it comes to the nose, I would definitely go with my trustworthy, very cool toned kind of powder or cream from Fenty, because I actually have a review on the matchstick in shade Amber if you want to check that out. I think that's a good shade for contour, like a proper contour, but this is more like of a bronzing sort of contour into one, which I know not many people are actually into very cool toned stuff, but I am, especially around the nose. So yeah, that's something to mention. So I must say I see why people hate this palette. It did crease really badly on the eye area, and now it's very, but very like streaky, and it kind of like started to crumble. So some kind of like in a way, I don't know why, but it starts to separate. That's the word, not crumble, separate. I don't know if you can see, but it separates like crazy, and I'm not like, I don't know, I mean, I don't have dry underneath eye area. I have normal, like I don't get dry there, and it still does look like as if I have extremely dry skin. I can see why people hate it. Obviously this is a first impression. It's not the first time I'm gonna use it. If by any means I'm gonna find a way to use it and make it work, I'm gonna update you. Usually I give a lot of updates on Instagram, but I mean not that many, but I tend to talk more over there about various products that I love, but I'm not quite sure. I mean, I guess that's why every single person on the internet I've actually watched their review on it say they hate it, because it really does look awful. It looks awful. I think the contour is the only great part. It did not do anything badly around there, like not at all. It actually worked really nicely. It's just the underneath eye area that I really hate. But the skin, otherwise, it looks great. It actually does look amazing. But is it worth it? 11 pounds? Because I don't think I mentioned in the intro, but this is 11 pounds. and probably you already know if you're looking into it. Is it worth £11? I do not think so. I don't justify the fact that only the contour works, obviously on my face, but I don't think so far, by my first impression, it justifies the £11 since it looks horrendous underneath my eye area. And seriously, the whole purpose of color correcting and then applying the concealer is to color correct and then apply the concealer. But I think it's way too much for the skin to handle, at least on my skin type. So it might be that a mistake on my end, but still, like, what's then the purpose of having the the salmony and yellow shade if I can't use them in combination with these three guys, because it turns too cakey. Like, obviously I don't, if it would work only with one of each, I still don't think that's so okay, because it kind of like it doesn't serve the purpose, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think I've been like, I should have listened to the internet, because now I regret buying it by now, but I'm still gonna give it a go and try it and see how it goes. But I should have listened to the internet because everybody hates it. But sometimes people would used to do is drag it with their fingers, and I was like, that's not how you do it. Teddy Westboro had a review on it, by any means not showing how she applies it on her skin, and I was like, or yeah, I'm pretty sure she didn't apply it on her skin, or maybe she dragged once again with her fingers, and I was like, I would never do that. I was a bit reckless to buy it, although everybody says they don't love it. But like I said, the only reason why I went ahead and bought it is because I felt people were just like too harsh with the underneath eye area, applying like massive amounts, or it looked like so. It might look the same on my video, who knows, I will see at the editing part. But yeah, it's just no so far. I don't like it. I don't recommend it. It's too expensive. Better buy one from anyway, and it's literally the same drill. I must say it's not sticky as everybody mentions. I don't think it's sticky. I think that's over exaggerated. It's just a cream product, and it tends to have a stick to it. But for example, now it doesn't, because I apply the blush, the highlighter, and the stickiness goes away like with any normal cream product. So yeah, that is it from me for today. I really hope by any means this video was useful and relevant to you, and you find it helpful. If you want to subscribe, then definitely subscribe, because I only do makeup bits. I mean, not only, majority cases it's makeup, but I do other bits too, who knows, wigs, I don't know, accessories, stuff like that, but mostly makeup. So yeah, I will hopefully see you within the next video. Bye.